I'm a recruiter and I review your resumes. The resume we have up first gets 0 interviews. So this is going to be a real stinker of a resume, and this is for a full stack software engineer. So for a full stack software engineer, and I want to let everybody know I do more than tech, but tech right now is on fire, and that fire is somehow also underwater. It is burning bright. So the tech market is terrible, so most of the resumes sent to me are tech. But for a full stack software engineer, what I need to find is this stuff. I need 75% of it in qualification format, which I will explain in a second. So, degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML. TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. If you do not have that in the first line, you are probably getting rejected. I understand that is basic. I understand you think everybody has it. If you do not have TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS in the first sentence, most likely in the first half, it is a rejection. Although I will say you can sometimes replace TypeScript with another backend language, but TypeScript is preferable. Then I need React or React.js, Node.js, Angular, Next.js, SQL or NoSQL, RESTful API or REST API, Cloud, CI/CD, Git, and if you say GCP, you need to tell me Google Cloud Platform, and then in parentheses GCP. And then another backend language, and then bonus points for all that good stuff. So, again, this person has sent over 150 applications, and they have gotten no interviews, so this is going to be a terrible resume. And how you can tell your resume is good is how many applications it takes to get an interview. If you're able to get 1 interview per 50 applications, your resume does pass, right? Like, could it be better? Yes, but 1 in 50 is not terrible. Anything above 1 in 50 is real bad. So, recruiters only have 20 seconds to find what we need in a resume. So I'm not going to be able to find this in 20 seconds because it's a bad resume, but let's see what I can find in 20 seconds. And let me have my list up. I don't memorize those. And go. Okay. Not relevant. This does not matter. This formatting is awful. Architected a full stack church, manage it using Java and Spring Boot. Okay, where's the front end? Leveraged, I don't care about leverage. Spring Boot protocol, you already mentioned Spring Boots. Ensured a full stack, nothing here. Integrated demographics, nothing. And time. That is it. Your resume is almost entirely blank. This is why you are sending resumes out into the void, and you're getting 0 interviews, as this resume is very bad. This resume does not have anything I want. You have committed a cardinal sin of resume creation, and that people think we are looking for keywords, which these are, not qualifications. And the problem is, if I was looking for keywords, this resume would pass. But I'm not. I'm qualification hunting. So, this is a keyword, right? This is what the hiring team needs. This is what the manager needs for their position. These are keywords. What a qualification is a keyword plus how you used it, plus the reason or result of you using it that is not a number unless you're in sales or a manager, and where you used it. If it's not those 4, what, how, reason, result, where, it does not count as a qualification, with the exception of degree and years of experience. So the problem is you sent me almost an entirely blank piece of paper. Relevant coursework is, oh no, I do need your degree. Relevant coursework is not relevant. This can be safely deleted. The honors is nice, although you should be fitting this into 1 line, and it should not look like this. This should be 2 lines, each in bullet points maximum, not bolded. This is what your resume needs to look like. You can see how to do it in the link below, but this is what your resume should look like. The only exceptions are directors and job hoppers. They need a different resume, but everybody else, you need this. So this is a nightmare to read. So then we go down to the skills section, and again, this is irrelevant. We do not need this. Nothing here matters because we are looking for qualifications, not keywords. So then we go down to here, and nothing here should be bolded. Nothing there should be bolded. We also need to remove this weird little line. I don't know why everybody loves their lines under here. It just makes it harder to read. This should be italicized. So then we go down to the actual bullet points, and if you look at this, the only thing I see here is Java and Spring Boot. That's it. That's all I've got is Java and Spring Boot. Which Java and Spring Boot is what I want for a back-end Java engineer, but it's not really what I care about for a full stack. Like the Spring Boot is nice and the Java can be good because it's another back-end, but I need the actual full stack. You say architected a full stack. Cool. What was it? I don't know. You didn't tell me. You need to tell me what it is. So you've wasted all of this, and this is practically worthless because you already mentioned it. So you only have one sentence here, and then nothing here, nothing here, nothing here, nothing here, nothing here, nothing here. Then we go down to here, and mentored students is nice, but again, this is not what I'm looking for, not what I'm looking for, not what I'm looking for. And then you have Java and C++, and not what I'm looking for. So you have sent to me a blank piece of paper, and this is why no one is giving you interviews. So you need to write your sentences like this, okay? I understand this is a barista, but how you write your resume is the same, right? Operated or point of sale, that is a keyword. Cash register, to collect money. How? From customers and perform basic math, a keyword for a barista. To give them proper change, keeping them engaged with customer service, a keyword, while I prepared their food and beverage, the reason you did it. That is how I need you to write it. And I need you to write that, but just replace what I said with tech stuff. Just say, created a TypeScript, a full stack web page using TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, React in a AWS environment, right? Maybe you didn't use cloud. That's fine. You're new. And that will get you interviews. This is not. And for the record, when people follow my method, they get 1 interview per 7 applications. Unless they're going only for remote roles or they are an international. But if it's not for those two, I get people a 1 in 7. So that it's for every 7 applications you send, you get 1 interview. So please, 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 please redo this resume because it is absolutely garbage and completely blank. And this is why you are suffering and you don't need to. But that is all I can do for this resume. So please, just want to thank everybody for watching, commenting, liking, subscribing. It really helps me out. I'm a small creator, so thank you very much for all your support. And also wanted to give a thanks to my members who get access to videos a little bit early. If you want to be a member, you can join in the link below. Thank you very much for supporting me. I really do appreciate it. And for everybody that wants to get more help, you can always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. That is where I stream this, and that is where I teach people how to get jobs beyond just the resume, because there's a lot of other stuff like interviews and things that I can't really go over on YouTube. So, next resume. This is a resume of a Java backend developer or a software engineer with a Java backend focus, whatever. It's a Java developer backend. So what we need for a Java dev is Java, Spring, Spring Boot, which is what the previous person had, but they said full stack. This is different. So Maven, SDLC, SQL, RESTful APIs or REST APIs, microservices, CI/CD, object-oriented programming, OOP, Git, Linux, Agile, Scrum, Cloud, architecting, or systems. Also, you do have to tell me what cloud you are. Hibernate, Hibernate, Docker, Kubernetes, Kafka, and then Rare is some full stack, which again, their full stack is different than a full stack, and DevOps and RabbitMQ. So we don't know their ratio. This is their updated resume, but let's see how well it does. 20 seconds on the clock. And go. Okay, good. Design and implement a payment feature using Java, Spring Boot, and REST APIs. Okay, good. Implement a backend services with Hibernate and Postgre to sort of bad. I need one more for this one. It's not bad. I need one more. Oriented principles, that should be OOP. I need more. Superland FDL, which is not bad. This is not one of them. And time. So this is not terrible, but it's not good. And there are ways, but it shouldn't take you too long to fix it. So first off, your formatting is pretty much good. I think there's some slight issues, but I think the formatting's fine. The second thing is you don't want to just say this, right? You want to explain it as just, as I am on an OPT, I do not need sponsorship for 3 years and can work for any U.S. company. That's how you need to say it. Now, I will say this does mean they are probably not going to sponsor you for an H-1B, but that will at least get you to more stuff. So that is good. And then here we do the moving to X City by Y date is fine. And then we go down to here, and the this is not a bad first sentence. I think it's okay. All right, we have Java, we have Spring Boot, we have RESTful APIs. Good. Then we go down to here. Implemented backend services with Hibernate. Not really looking for Hibernate. There, yeah, I am. Brain. I've got a migraine, y'all, so sorry about this. Hibernate. We have SQL, right? Any SQL is fine, as long as we have some. And that's it. So I need more. So the rule is each bullet point needs a minimum of 3 keywords. This only has 2. Then we do this, and you say object-oriented programming, and then in parentheses you need to put OOP. But again, the problem is this only has 1 keyword. We need 2 more. Then collaborated. What do you mean collaborated? That could be a lot of different things. Just say worked. Worked in agile sprints, good, across full software development life cycles, SDLC, good, with a 6-person team. And then I need more because, again, there's only 2 here. And then we go down to here, which is deployed at Docker, which is good. Backend services on AWS, EC2, great. Analytics to enable real-time. My actual only complaint with this is this should be your second bullet point, not your 5th. This is a really, really good thing. And then implemented, this is good again, but you've only been there for like a couple of months. You should be able to crunch this down into about 4 bullet points maximum, because right now you're kind of elongating the amount that you need. So you will never get a 1 in 7 just because you need immigration services, even though you don't need sponsorship. It's just that tough. But I believe we could at least get you to like a 1 in 30 to a 1 in 50, maybe a 1 in 60 with this. My big problem is just that I need more per bullet point, and I don't think you really need 6 bullet points. I think you could crunch that down into 4, maybe 5, but probably 4, and get the same amount. But otherwise, you have the right idea. So good job. The next iteration should be good enough. Next, resume. This is another full stack. So we know the keywords. They did not change. This person says they have a 1 in 50, so this is an okay resume. I'm expecting this to be good. There's probably 1 or 2 flaws, but overall it does pass. That is what I'm expecting for a 1 in 50. So let's see. 20 seconds on the clock. Again, keywords have not changed. So let's go. Okay, degree, good. Okay. Using JavaScript, HTML, Angular, okay. Python REST with mobile is not bad. Minute control, quality, Git, and CSD. Okay, pretty solid. Develop the full site using TypeScript, Svelte. I don't care about Svelte. It's an only word with an ETL. I don't care about this. SQL is fine. And time. Yeah, it has most of what I needed. Most entry-level people don't always have cloud. Oh, there's cloud all the way at the bottom. Why did you hide it down here? This was really good. I missed it. But yeah, this is not bad. There's a couple of tweaks, but let me read what you wrote first. Haley, I discovered your channel this January and drafted my resume based on your advice. I'm a new grad, targeting full stack. I've applied to a little over 100 jobs, gotten 2 interviews. Yeah, that's not bad. For some quick context, I am in redacted, but I'm primarily applying to roles in redacted and sometime local redacted. I'll bet the later are sparse. Also, I have a few questions about referrals. I remember your short, which if I was good enough, I would link here, but I don't know how to do that editing, in which you advocate for high-volume cold apps being a better use of time over referral, but there are 2 things I'm thinking about. No, I don't actually say that. The best way to get a job is to know the hiring manager. The second best way to get a job is to know somebody that knows the hiring manager. The problem is you cannot cold apply to them. You have to have already known them. So when I'm saying don't network, I'm not saying that. I'm saying randomly emailing the hiring manager is not networking. But going to a football game with the hiring manager, or knowing the hiring manager from another job, or somebody who works with the hiring manager, is networking and is the best way to do it. The third best way is to cold apply. So, there is a high density of university alumni in the tech scene. Yes, there are. And most companies apply to have 7 alumni working there. I was in a frat, although the brothers in my university chapter aren't in there. I have access to national network. Yeah, that is a good way to do it. If they can vouch for you and you can have somebody from your frat do it, that is a good way to get a job. In fact, that is why most people pay money for college, is not the education, but the connections. In this market, is it better to stay the course with high alpha cold, or should I pivot energy into the university and fraternity connections via cold DM? See, the problem is they're cold. You need somebody to vouch for you. You cannot cold DM. Someone like, hey, I went to your that. Maybe they could do it for a frat. A fraternity alumni might work, but even then, you typically need to have known them. And lastly, does your resume advice change for startups? Y Combinator? No, not really. If a founder is the one reviewing my resume instead of a recruiter, should I try not to impress that person reading? Strategy does not change. The one thing you want to do for Y Combinators and that stuff is they really, 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 really love to see that you've done 0 to 1. You really want to see 0 to 1, and they want to see that you are prestigious. So if you can show some prestige, they will also like it. But that is a very specific New York startup thing. So if you could say prestige, it will be good. Like developed a cross-platform app from Harvard or something, maybe it would work. So, but other than that, nothing else changes. So what I would do here to change is just I want a little bit more, right? This is good. JavaScript, CSS, Angular is fine. That is good. Then Python is good. NoSQL is good, and Git is good. I would prefer a little bit more here. Is this all you've done? Because I need a little bit more here. Also, I think for some reason your formatting is slightly off. Mine starts up here. Yours should start up there as well, but that's a minor issue. Then we go down to here, and it's developed a full stack for Node. And again, I don't care about Svelte, but I'd rather you put it to here and say develop the full stack application using TypeScript, HTML, CSS, Node.js in a AWS environment. They want to see the cloud. And then CI/CD. Startups love CI/CD as well. So I just want you to move most of this to the first one and remove Svelte, replace it with AWS and CI/CD and maybe Git. And then the rest of this is okay. But otherwise, yeah, this would work. You just need a little bit more. But if you're going for startups, again, you want to show prestige, which is a terrible way to hire, I'll be honest. And I've worked for some startups. They struggle to hire because of that a lot of the times. But there is a big thing, especially in that of prestige. And you have to show prestige, which is unfortunately the problem with prestige is it's different to every single hiring manager, and there is no consensus on it. So next, resume. This is a data analyst intern. So this person has a terrible resume. It takes over 150 applications to get a single interview. So this is bad. And yeah, what we need for an intern data analyst is degree, basic knowledge of data analyst stuff. I think that's not grammatically correct, but whatever, that's on me. So SQL, Python, Tableau, or Power BI, they both work. Excel, MS Office, PowerPoint, the ability to work well with others, and take direction and criticism. And that's it. I looked at multiple roles. Tinder, the company, this was what they required. Multiple other companies required this. So if you are not making your resume for this, you're gonna have a bad time, which this person is having a bad time. So 20 seconds on the clock. Let's see what I can find, if any of it. And go. Okay, degree, good. Formatting's awful. SQL is good. Don't care. Why do you care about reliability? That's not what I'm asking. Don't care. This is irrelevant. This is a hot dog. All right, declined. Yeah, I actually read through that, and nothing there mattered. So this resume has way too many hot dogs. And what I mean by that is I want you to imagine that you are hungry, okay? You want a cheeseburger with pickles and onions and ketchup, right? Ketchup, pickles, onions, cheese, hamburger. That's all you want. You go to a restaurant and you say, I want a cheeseburger with pickles, onions, and ketchup. They say, cheeseburger with pickles, ketchup, and onions. You say, cheeseburger with pickles, ketchup, and onions. They say, right away, boss. And then they go back to the kitchen and they bring you back a hot dog. And they say, here is your hot dog. And you would look at them like they were insane and say, I wanted a hamburger. This is a hot dog with cheese and pickles and onions and ketchup. They say, well, this is what you wanted. You say, no, it's not. I wanted a cheeseburger. And they say, well, a hot dog has buns just like a hamburger. A hot dog has meat just like a hamburger. A hot dog can have ketchup, mustard, and cheese and onions and pickles just like a hamburger. This is what you wanted. This is exactly what you wanted. You would look at them like they were gaslighting you and you would walk away. You would not pay for that. And that is the exact problem that you did here, is you did a lot of stuff that is adjacent to what I'm asking for. You did a lot of stuff that could maybe imply you've done it. You've done a lot of stuff that could be impressive, but I don't care how impressive of a hot dog you made. I wanted a cheeseburger, and this is what needs to be in that cheeseburger. This is a hot dog. That is why you're failing. Now let me read what you wrote. Looking for an internship or full-time positions. I mean, no, you're not going to get a full-time position unless you were in a master's. So internships is probably what you're going for. Looking at the data space, data analyst, followed by data scientist or software developer. Those are all different ones. These are the appliers words. I know from your channel it should be narrowed down to one title. This is for a Canadian market. Yeah, I mean, like, this is the problem with your resume, is it's blank. Like, I like the fact that you have SQL here, but that's it. You don't show me anywhere that you used MS Excel, which is a requirement. Tinder had that as a requirement for data analyst intern. You don't show me anywhere Tableau, and if you did, I missed it. You don't show me Python. You don't show me Excel. You don't show me PowerPoint. You don't show me that you can work with other people. You don't show me that you can take direction and criticism. This is why you're having problems and you're not getting anything, is because this is garbage for what I want. Same with this. This is garbage. None of this matters. Why do I care that you were a full stack engineer? A data analyst is different than a full stack developer. If you notice, they are different. Also, if you want to know what the actual keywords for a full-time role of data analyst is, it's this. This is what you need. And this is different than what you wrote. There's not a single thing here that I can use to move you forward. Nothing, 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 PyTorch maybe. Nothing, 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 nothing. Here, oh, cool, the actual things I need, but they don't count because they're in a skills section. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Project, nothing, 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 nothing. Your resume is blank. The only thing that you sent is that you have SQL. That's it. There is nothing else. This is why you're struggling to get interviews. This is what matters for a data analyst intern. If it's not this, it does not matter. Next, resume. This is another full stack. We had three today. Yeah, so we know these keywords. I don't need to go over them again. What is this person's ratio? We do not know. So 20 seconds on the clock. Let's see if this is good or bad. Again, I don't know the ratio, so your guess is as good as me. And go. Okay, Germany. Okay. There are way too many of these. Why do I need that? Okay, I don't think I need that, but whatever. Why did you write it like that? Develop, maintain, a production cyber platform using TypeScript, JavaScript. Okay, good. Supported deployment in Docker for Linux. I need more. There's only 2 there. Performance reduction and time. Yeah, it's your formatting's bad. This is actually really hurting your chances. So, looking to move to Germany and looking for security web, Azure focused. I'm a non-EU citizen. Okay, so the big thing here is, and remember, I am a US based recruiter. I believe I've gotten people jobs in Germany. I have done in the EU and the UK, but they may not know what this is. And maybe someone who's a recruiter from Germany can correct me, but they may not know what a blue card route is. You may have to explain that to them, how easy it is right under here. But if it's not easy, they may just reject you offhand, because that means you don't have work authorization to work in that country. And if you don't have work authorization to work in that country and you can't get it very, very, very easily, then they are just not going to move forward with you regardless of the rest of the resume. So that is definitely something we need to check, and it's something that I am unfortunately not qualified for because I don't work in Germany and I do not know their immigration laws. But I do know how to make a good resume. So first off, you need to follow this format. Please make it look like this. This is not this. Then we go down to here, and I don't need your associates if I've got your bachelor's. Oh, wait, you haven't graduated yet? Wait, why are you... How does that work? Regardless of that, this doesn't matter. I'm very confused. This might be a German-specific thing, but... So you've only got an associate's, and you have not gotten your bachelor's yet, and your bachelor's is different than CS? I'm very confused. This is something that you will have to figure out because I don't understand this, and it's entirely probable that people in Germany will not understand it either. It could just be my U.S. bias is leaking. But then we go down to here, and you don't want to mention these keywords all the way down here. They should be in the first half, the first bullet point, right? So I don't want you to say all of this. Developed a cybersecurity platform using blah, 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 across front end and back end components for X, right? That's good. Then supported deployments in Docker. Again, Docker is good, but that's kind of like a bonus. So there's really nothing in here that I need, right? Linux could be nice to have, but again, this is a hot dog. Then we have perform production triage. Again, this stuff is important and it should be up here. But I don't really care about Bitbucket. I care about Git and CI/CD, and Agile is nice. Then we go down to here, and it's okay. Don't have this little line in between it. But again, this part is the most important part, and it should be up here. So yeah, that's kind of all I can do for this, because again, I'm not a German recruiter, but it's entirely probable they don't know what an EU blue card is. They don't know how easy it is to get. It could be very easy. It could be very difficult. I don't know. I truly do not. But the rest of your resume is a bit of a problem in that you've kind of buried the lead of what you want to do. And I don't see any cloud, right? So if I go here, I saw TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, good. I saw Angular is good. I think I saw Node. I did not see SQL. And yeah, SQL I didn't see because it's all the way down there. And you said you're looking for an Azure job? Why is Azure all the way down here? No one's going to go all the way down here to see that Azure project. Like, if you're looking for that Azure job, you need to put that closer up to the top. And by that means, I think you just need to cancel out some of these. Because, let's see, you've done that, you've done that. Also... Yeah, you've only been there for less than a year. Kind of a little sus, but you might be able to get it with it. So that's the best I can do with this one. Again, you're applying to a visa in a country I've not recruited in. Your resume is mid, though. So if you did not have that visa and Germany worked the same as the U.S., I would say this would probably get a 1 in 50 to maybe a 1 in 60 application ratio. I truly don't know what this would be in the EU. But that's all I can do for this resume, and I wanted to thank you all for watching. If you ever need more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And if you ever, just thank you, by the way. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. It really helps me out. And if you wanted to become a member, you get access to videos a little bit early. You can join in the link below. And I wanted to thank all my members personally. Thank you very much for supporting me. I really appreciate it. And let's go to the next video.